Good morning! Yesterday I officially started traveling. I got a relocation campervan to drive up to Auckland, and yesterday I pretty much spent all day driving up to Picton. The State Highway 1 to Kaikoura was closed unfortunately due to a recent cyclone, and I had to take the inland route, which took a lot longer, so I was driving for almost 8 hours yesterday. I slept in Aussie Bay, which is like halfway between Nelson and Picton, and now I'm on my way to Picton to catch the ferry to Wellington. It was raining yesterday all day. It's probably because I left Emily at home, because she claims to be the weather goddess. Anyway, today it looks pretty nice, even though the forecast said it's gonna rain. But this is pretty awesome for the ferry, because it's beautiful when sunny. In Wellington, and I'm just waiting to get off the ferry. That might take a while, but the weather is quite windy. It's a bit cloudy. It's not raining. That's pretty good. And now I have to grab some food and go to a campsite. Oh goodness. No. Fair enough. I'm in New Plymouth now, which is on the west coast of the North Island, and I intended to stay here overnight, but unfortunately freedom camping is not allowed here anymore, so I'm gonna carry on driving. But it's really hot and the sea looks fantastic. You can see the beach in the background. It's a really dark color, it's a black beach. So I'm gonna take a swim because I haven't had a shower in a while and I feel pretty gross. Okay, so I made it to Auckland, but I had a really tough day actually. So I drove up to Auckland and didn't think about booking accommodation. And as it so happened, there were a lot of festivals going on here in Auckland. So I rang about like 5 different places and none of them had a room available. So I biked back to the airport. I brought my bike up to Auckland. So I biked back to the airport and prepared myself mentally to stay the night at the airport. But after like an hour or so of Googling, I actually found a place that had a free room. Which is right at Mount Eden. And I'm currently walking up Mount Eden. From tomorrow I'm gonna stay at a different backpackers though. And I'm gonna stay in Auckland for about a week or so because I still have to sell my bike. So now I'm going up the mountain, well, mountain, it's more like a hill really, to see the sunset. It's gonna be great. But one thing I learned from that is don't just drive to Auckland and assume you get a room. That was really stupid. Coming up here was definitely worth it, even after such a long and stressful day. So the bike ride from the airport was really hard. My ex-flatmates would actually call it like a pretty awesome ride, but for me it was really tough. Auckland is really hilly, and especially when you come from the airport you have to climb some really big hills. But it's all gonna be worth it.